Hey, how's everybody doing? It's been a minute, but welcome to another episode of the Ponder Station. I'm the guy that give you stuff to ponder about. And today I want you to ponder on church folks. Yeah, church folks. Church people. Church goers. People that hang out in churches. On a Sunday, around 11 o'clock, anywhere in the world, anywhere in the United States, a lot of people going to go into some buildings they call church. And they're going to come out full of the Spirit. Now, from my understanding, in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 22 to verse 23, if you're full of the Spirit, you should have some fruits of the Spirit. Those fruits are love, peace, joy, patience, kind, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, and gentleness. Now, if you're full of those, because Paul said at the end of that, he said, against such things, there's no law. So, there's no law for showing love. There's no law against peace. There's no law against joy. There's no law against patience. There's no law against kindness. There's no law against goodness. There's no law against faithfulness. There's no law against gentleness. And there is no law against self-control. Now, this is where I'm going with this. How can anybody that been going to church for the last 5 years, or been going to church and on a regular basis, and claim that they love God, they fear God, they full of the Spirit, but somebody sitting 2 pews over in the same congregation, you can't stand, you can't get along with, you hate their guts? Let me enlighten you. If this is you, if you go to church every Sunday and somebody in your church that you don't like, you might want to question yourself on whether or not you have any of the fruits of the Spirit. Because if you don't have no fruits of the Spirit, you can't love nobody. You can't show peace. You can't have joy. You darn sure can't be patient and kind and goodness and faithfulness and self-control and be gentle, no matter what day of the week it is. If you got any of the fruits of the Spirit and God is still working on you, let's hope you got at least 1, 2, but you want to try to get all 9 of them. So your life and the people around you life will be better. And you could help somebody else's life be better. But if you in church with somebody and y'all hate each other and you got cliques in the church, that make me wonder about how many people in your church are filled with the Spirit. How can you be filled with the Spirit and dislike someone that you worship with? Even before you go to the altar prayer, say make sure all minds and hearts are clear. It's just not supposed to be for Sunday for 2 hours. It's supposed to be for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you got any fruits of the Spirit, if you have any fruits of the Spirit, it shouldn't be nobody in your congregation that you dislike, that you don't care for. I don't like working with them. I just stay away from them. And y'all in the same congregation? That tells me a lot about your leadership. What's wrong with your leadership? If your leadership has not put fruits of the Spirit in this congregation, because these things have to be developed. Every fruit of the Spirit You can't wake up in the morning. You can't get it delivered to you. You can't get it dropped off. You can't get it UPS. Amazon is not going to bring it. The fruits, any fruit of the Spirit, points to your character. And for you to get some fruits of the Spirit, according to the book of Galatians, they have to be developed. Let's use, for example, patience. You want patience. You pray for patience. But when you're in line at Walmart and the line is down to the meat section and you complaining, no, then you really didn't want no patience then. They said be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you ask for. Because every one of these fruits of the Spirit has to be developed in you. If you've been going to church for 10 years and you ain't got not one fruit of the Spirit, you might want to try a different church. If you've been going to church for 5 years and you don't have at least one fruit of the Spirit, you might want to try a different church. Just because you accept Jesus as your Christ is not going to fill you up with the Spirit. Just because you accept Jesus your Lord and Savior is not going to fill you up with the Spirit. Because this is your character. This is who you are. Do you have love? Do you have peace? Do you have joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? Do you have any of those? If not, you might want to get some. Because once again, Paul said against these things, there's no such law. Church folks, you got to develop some fruits of the Spirit. They must be developed. And they're going to be developed through practice. You got to practice on loving people. You got to practice on being patient. You got to practice on having peace. You got to practice on always having joy, even when things are rough. You got to practice on these things. You can't continue to skip practice. Skipping practice means you complain about the line in Walmart because you ain't got no patience. Get you some. Because you don't want to miss practice. So, how can anybody at any church have a problem with somebody else at their church if they got the fruits of the Spirit? I ask myself that. It's virtually impossible for me to be mad with another church member, and we've been going to church for the last 10 years. How can we be angry at each other, dislike each other? It's impossible if you're filled with the Spirit. Hey, this is a Ponder Station. Once again, I'm the Ponder guy. I give you stuff to ponder about. And we out. Peace.